Okay, so the session is now live on YouTube. So the rest of the students can join through YouTube. Yes, of course, there will be no problem with the attendance part there. Okay. So I hope now there is no problem with the classmates, with the other of the classmates. Okay, so let's solve the question now. So what was the question? Let's go back and read the graph first. So the question said, the following graph mentions some number of flats booked in HIG, MIG, LIG categories from different cities in 2004, right? Now, under such a situation, you are just reading the graph properly. That's what is expected from you, right? So the first three dots are obviously corresponding to Allahabad. Then the next three are corresponding to Chandigarh, then for Mangalore, Baroda, Nagpur, and Aurangabad. Please remember the colors are very important. So the blue color is for LIG, red is for HIG, and green is for MIG, so that you don't make a mistake in reading the values. And I can see most of you have given the correct answer to the first question, which I said you guys can solve. In the meantime, I was doing the session live. So, of course, your answer is correct. And it was quite simple to calculate. Question said that if for Aurangabad, the number of HIG flats booked in 2005, now the data given to you was for 2004. They are now giving some information about the next year. So what they are saying is HIG flats in 2005 was more than in 2004 by 15%. So for HIG, they are saying that there is a rise of 15%. There's an increase of 15%. Then the number of MIG flats was more than 2004 by 10%. So MIG, they are saying there is an increase of 10%. All right. And for LIG, they are saying that it is an increase of 20%. That's it. Okay, so for such situations, what you do is that the city mentioned is Aurangabad. So where is Aurangabad? The last one. So these are the three important informations which I have to use, right? Now 520 corresponds to LIG, and LIG sees an increase of 20%, which means what? You can do this calculation in two ways. Either you can say that I can add 520 with 20% of 520. Okay. Otherwise, you can say I will take 120% of 520. It's one and the same thing. Similarly, if I read the next figure, 460, that is for MIG. So 460 figure is for MIG, and MIG is seeing an increase of 10%. So 10% of this number needs to be increased. HIG is the red figure, which is given to you as 340 here, right? So in that figure, what you are doing is you are adding the extra, which is mentioned to you as, so for 340 figure, if it is HIG, if it is, so the color is extremely important. Are you noticing that fact? If you miss out on the colors, because they're not following the same order, and that is deliberately done so that you make a mistake. Okay, so what our mind thinks is that the data is also being read in the same order, and the percentage is also being applied in the same order, and that's where we make the mistake. All right, so if you are reading a blue figure is 520, which is for LIG, and LIG is seeing an increase of 20%. Good enough till here, right? If you're reading a green figure, which is 460, which is for MIG, and MIG is seeing an increase of 10%. Good enough. When you're reading the figure of 340, it is for the red color. So red color is HIG, which is seeing an increase of 15%. So do not make a mistake of what they actually want you to do is follow the same order here and follow the same order here. And of course, you mismatch the percentages. All right, quite a simple, silly mistake, but still can happen. Now, when you're doing this calculation, there is a small tip which I want to give you. You are having a number like 520 and you are adding 20% of this number. Now, 10% of a number will always make you move one decimal to the left. So that will be 52. And what is double of 52? It is going to be 104. So if you handle this calculation like this, trust me, it will be much faster. Okay. Similarly, for the next one, 460 is getting added with 10% of 460. It will be 46 that is getting added. Then the next calculation, 340 is getting added with 15% of this number. Now, what is 10% of this number? It is 34. I have to add another 5%. So 5% will be just half of this, which is 17. So you're adding a 34 also, you're adding a 17 also. Now it is just addition of some numbers, which gives the answer that you all have given. And yes, it is the correct answer. Okay, everyone clear? So it's just about reading the graph properly, not making the mistake which they actually want you to make, because that's how the question has been framed for you, because intentionally they want that you make a mistake of mismatching the percentages with reading the data. So be careful. Careful is very, very important when you're reading data. Everyone clear? So because it has been correctly answered by majority of you, I'm sure it's quite clear to all of you. Okay, so the right answer is option B. Same data, next question. Yes, what do you think is the answer to this question? 120 is the answer that majority of you are giving. Okay, let's see. What is the question telling us to focus on? Out of the LIG flats booked from Chandigarh. So first of all, the data to be focused here is of Chandigarh. So for Chandigarh, these are the three figures that are important. Okay. The question says, out of the LIG flats booked from Chandigarh, so we are talking about only the LIG figure. So what is LIG? LIG is blue in color. So what is the figure for Chandigarh blue in color? It is 400. So we know we are talking about these 400 flats in totality, but something else is being mentioned here in percentage bifurcation of this. 35% of these are booked by financial institutions out of the remaining. Now, the moment you're reading a word like out of remaining, you should think in your mind, if 35% are covered under this category, what is remaining that is being now talked about? Percentage remaining always means, of course, 100 minus 35. So now they are talking about the remaining 65%. So focus on this figure. For the remaining 65%, they are saying that those booked by officers from software company and HRM are in the ratio 6:7. So this is for software, this is for HRM, and the ratio is given as 6:7. For which figure? For the remaining 65%. The question is asking, what is the number of LIG flats booked by officers from software company? So software company is this ratio. Now, if you remember, in ratios, I already told you that if you're looking for a particular value, it is that number divided by sum of the ratios multiplied with its total. Now, what is the total that you're talking about this category? Obviously, 65% of 400. This is the only calculation that needs to be done. The logic is already applied. Okay, so I repeat, 6 is the number that is corresponding to the ratio. The sum of the two ratios is going to be 6 plus 7, that is 13, multiplied with 65% of 400. Okay, so 65% of 400. And it's a very simple calculation, which is quickly giving me the answer as 120. Are you all getting the answer as 120? Yes? So Kriti and Himanshu, is it now clear? It's not 140, it is 120. Okay, are we done with this question? Should we move ahead? Okay, let's move. Again, the same block, but next question. So the answer to this question is 120, which is option number B. Same data, but next question. Okay, so I'm getting different answers here. Rachit says 73.21. Jinesh says 35%. Okay, two new participants giving some answers. So all of you must participate in answering. It's important because the more you participate, the better you understand. Now, the point is options are very important here. Okay, so the options are scroll down to the next page because I had to fit in the graph here. So let me just show you the options because it is saying rounding off to the nearest integer. So the exact answer is obviously not needed. Right, Sujal? What you are given is the perfect exact answer. So very good, Sujal, for that. But of course, you are supposed to give the round off answer. So let me just first of all clarify those who are giving the answer. And then, of course, I'll clarify to those who have not been able to find it. So by that logic, Sujal, yes. So your answer will be 37% because actually the answer has come out as 36.58. But the question says find it roughly. So roughly you will be marking option number A. So that's the answer for all those who have actually been able to solve it. Now let me help out those who did not understand the question. Question is quite simple. It is saying the total number of MIG flats booked in Mangalore, Baroda, Nagpur. Now, I have always been telling you that always note down what they are mentioning, which cities. They are talking about Mangalore, they are talking about Baroda, they are talking about Nagpur. So these are the three cities that they are talking about. And which flats are they talking about? Only the MIG flats. MIG flats are green in color. Notice the color, it's very important. Now, what they are mentioning about them is what percent more than the total number of LIG flats. Now, there is a second category coming up. So I'm using a different pen for that. LIG flats are blue in color, booked for the same three cities. So it's easy for us. They are not confusing us with the cities at least. Okay. So same three cities. First, I'm noting down their MIG figures. Then I'm noting down their LIG figures. That's it. So if you read the information, it's just reading the graph. So for Mangalore, let's first note down the MIG figures and notice the MIG figures are the ones which are green in color. So MIG figures are what? 460. Then for the next one, it is 240. And then for the next one, it is 420. Then you're noting down their LIG figures. LIG figures are the ones which are blue. So the blue figures for the three cities are 200, 320, 300. Any problem till here? So this is like just reading the data properly. Okay. So I repeat, the MIG figures are 460, 240, 420. The LIG figures are noted down as 200, 320, and 300. Now you have to just find out what percentage difference do they have and comparison with what makes a huge difference. Now you notice that this figure has come out to be 1120 and this figure has come out to be 820. What is being compared with what is extremely important when you're talking about percentages. The language of the question was MIG is what percentage more than LIG. You are comparing with the word than. Than is being used for LIG. So LIG is my reference point. Remember, when you talk about percentages being more or less, the word that carries the word than with itself is the base which goes in the denominator. So of course, their difference will be in the numerator, but the denominator will be the figure for LIG. Okay, be very careful about it. So now what you have to do is just take the difference of the two figures, that is 1120 subtracted with 820, but the base reference is 820. This is the calculation, that is what they are talking about. Is the calculation logic clear? Then I'll just tell you what is the calculation left. Is the logic clear, everyone? So this base, the denominator is very important because you have two choices. You could have taken 1120 also in the denominator. You could have taken 820 also in the denominator. How do you identify that? The one which carries the word than with it will always go in the denominator. Why? Because it is my reference point. Okay, now it's a very simple question. Calculation is not difficult. 300 is what percentage of 820? So of course it roughly comes out to be 37%. We don't need to find the answer exactly. So it is roughly 37% given as option number A. Clear, everyone? Okay, let's move to the next question then. Next question based on the same block. Everyone give it a try. So please do the marking as I have been doing. Identify the cities, identify the flats, note on their color so that you don't miss out, and then do the required calculation. So I've solved 3 for you. This one should be like without any mistakes. I'm expecting all of you to give the correct answer now. No, Jinesh, that's not the correct answer. Do it carefully again. It's just reading the information properly, okay? So note down the cities they are talking about. They are talking about Allahabad. They are talking about Mangalore. They are talking about Nagpur and Aurangabad. So the first information, the third one, and the last two. For which? For MIG. MIG is for which color? MIG is the green figures. Okay. And they are saying that what is the difference between the total number of MIG flats booked for these and the total number of LIG flats booked in these. So they are not at least confusing you with the cities. They're keeping the cities same. First, they are talking about their MIG sum, and then they are talking about their LIG sum. That's it. LIG is which color? Blue color. So you have to read the green figures, add it up. You have to read the blue figures, add it up, and find their difference. But still, a lot of different answers I'm getting. Please read the graph properly. Okay, let's read the green figures first. The green figure for Allahabad is what? 440. Yeah. So 440 is the first green figure that you have. Then for Mangalore, the green figure is 460. Then for the last two, the green figures are 420 and 460. Okay. These are the green figures, that is the MIG figures. Now let's note down the LIG figures, which are blue in color. So the LIG figures are what? 280. The third one, blue figure, is going to be 200. And the last two blue figures are 300 and 520. That's it. So now can you notice if any of the figures have been wrongly noted by you? So it's 440, first figure, then 460, 420, 460 again. For the next plot, it is 280, 200, 300, and 520. It's just asking for their difference. That's it. Okay, so you find the total of this, you find the total of this, and take their difference. Now you guys are giving the correct answer. So it's 1780 for the first figure, the sum, and 1300 for the second figures, the sum is, right? So obviously, when you are just, sorry, 1300 is the sum for the next ones. Let me just write it properly. Right? So what is the difference that is coming up from here? 480. So all those who are not getting 480 as the answer, now it's clear. The majority of you have already given 480 is the answer. No percentage. It was only talking about difference. Okay? No percentages, only the difference. Any problem? Okay, let's move ahead then. So the answer is 480, which is given in option number B. One more question based on the same block. This one is now talking about ratio. Identify the way I do. Identify the cities, identify the type, and then find the required calculation. What is the ratio of the total number of flats of all the three types booked in Allahabad to that of Baroda? So not too much of chaos now. It's just two cities that are being compared, Allahabad and Baroda. And which type? All types. So you have to add up all the figures of Allahabad and you have to add up all the figures of Baroda and just find the ratio. That's it. Okay, so Darshan's answer is 8 is to 7. Okay, Jinesh's answer is 49 is to 54. See, ratios, you can never shuffle, Jinesh. That's the only mistake you have done. Himanshu, you had to simplify it. Ratios are always the most simplified answer. Okay, so Himanshu and Jinesh, your mistakes are quite simple mistakes, but of course, it can make you opt for a wrong option. Himanshu, please simplify. Yes, Tushar, very good. That's the correct answer. Jinesh, you got to know your mistake. The ratio is Allahabad to Baroda. That is A is to B. You cannot give the reverse answer. You cannot give B is to A. Okay, so A is to B is the required answer. So what are the figures of A? Figures of A are 440. Then you have 360. Then you have 280. The figures of Baroda. Okay, the figures of Baroda are 420. Then you have 320. Then you have 240. All right, so 440, 360, 280 is the figures for Allahabad, and Baroda figures are 420, 320, and 240. Now, when you add them, of course, the A figure is coming out to be 1080, and the figure for B is coming out to be 980. If you just cancel the two zeros, Himanshu, what you did, and you gave the answer as 108 is to 98, you forgot that this could be further simplified. Okay, so when it is further simplified, yes, of course, it is giving me the answer in one step itself. 54 is to 49. You can never give the reversed answer. Keep a note of that. If the question is asking for A is to B, it is 54 is to 49. 49 is to 54 is a wrong answer. So this is the correct one. Avinash, it's not 1 is to 1. 1 is to 1 is there only when the figures are same. It's not same. It's 1080 for the first one, 980 for the second one. Okay, had the figures been same, only then the ratio comes out to be 1 is to 1. Everyone clear? Okay, let's move ahead. So the correct answer is there in the screen now. You can see the option. 54 is to 49 is given in option number A. Now we are done with the basic quant questions. We're also done with the puzzle-based questions. We are done with the graph-based questions. So 3 categories are already done for you. Now the next category is syllogism, which you all mentioned that you are not at all aware of. So let me just give you a briefing of the topic first so that you can understand it, because syllogism, as I said, the level of difficulty of the questions is also not very basic in the paper. So you need to understand the concept first. So a quick recap. Any questions in quant, any problem in quant, any problem in the puzzles, any problem in the graph? The 3 categories that we have covered till now. Anyone has any doubts with the 3 categories? Okay, so the quant questions are done, the puzzle questions are done, the graph questions are done. Now let's talk about syllogism. What is syllogism, first of all? Syllogism basically says that you are making some inferences. And why is it important for you to understand that syllogism will make what sense to you in real life? See, it doesn't actually make any sense in real life because it's normally very contradictory statements. But what it actually gives you as a learning is making the right inferences from what is mentioned to you. I repeat, syllogism basically tells you what? You are given some information. Now, normally what happens is the kind of information that you will be given, that you will be provided, is going to be contradictory with the real life. Something like if I say that all buses are cars, all buses are tables. Obviously, these statements are quite stupid. But of course, syllogism has this rule: whatever is given to you, whatever information is given to you, it is always considered as true, even if it is quite stupid in comparison to what you know from real life. All right. So, rule number one. Rule number two is, on the basis of this given statements, you are supposed to answer that a conclusion that is being drawn from there. Please remember the conclusion being drawn from what is given. You are not applying what you know from real life. The conclusion has to be drawn only by using the given information, not by your common knowledge. You have to answer whether that conclusion is true or not. Please remember, a conclusion is called as true if it is always true. Even with one slightest contradiction, it will be called as a false conclusion. In case of ambiguity, a doubt, it is also again considered as a false conclusion. Okay, so a conclusion will be called as a true conclusion only when it is always true without any contradiction. If you find even a single contradiction, it will be called as a false conclusion. If you are doubtful about it, even then you call it as a rejected conclusion, false conclusion. Are the two rules clear, everyone? Because this is the base of syllogism. So first rule is something to do with the given information. The given information has to be taken true even if it violates your common sense. Second rule is applied on the conclusions. The conclusions are drawn only based on the given information, nothing to do with your common knowledge. When do you mark a conclusion to be true? When it is always true. And when do you mark it wrong? In two situations. Either you find a contradiction for it or you're doubtful about that conclusion. Is that clear, everyone? Let me just give you a simple example, a very simple example. I give you an information that all pens are erasers. Okay, I have given you an information that all pens are erasers. Even if you know that this is very stupid, you will have to trust it that it is true. Now I'm writing a conclusion. You have to tell me, is this conclusion valid to draw from the given information? All pens can remove what is drawn using a pencil. Tell me, can you draw this conclusion out of what is given to you? Yes. Yes. Are you sure about it? Who told you that erasers can erase something? Did I give you that information? Did I tell you that erasers are something which are used to rub off what you have written? I did not tell you that. You cannot use your common sense. You cannot use your common knowledge. I told that rule. The rule said that the conclusion has to be drawn only using the given information. You don't know what erasers are. Okay? I did not define erasers for you. You cannot use your common sense. You cannot tell me that, okay, I already know what erasers are. Of course, you're not allowed to use it. Is that clear, everyone? So that's a very, very common mistake people do. People try to bring in what they know from real life. You're not supposed to do it. I just gave an information that all pens are erasers. You don't know what erasers are. You don't know what pens are because I have not defined it for you in the given information. Now I'm asking that all pens can remove what is drawn using a pencil. I don't know. Okay, because I don't know what erasers are supposed to do. That information is missing in the question. Are you clear? Yes? Okay, another example. Suppose I tell you that all cars are wood. I'm giving you the information that all cars are wood. And I'm making a conclusion. The conclusion is cars can be used to make furniture. Is this a valid conclusion? Cars can be used to make furniture. False, of course, because I did not tell you that wood makes furniture. That knowledge you have from real life. You cannot apply it here. Okay, so it's a false information because it is not mentioned to me in the given information. Okay, now this was just very basic question. Now the kind of questions that you have will be handled in a particular way. What is that particular way? That particular way is that you have to make some diagrams. Those diagrams are called as Venn diagrams. So when we talk about Venn diagrams, there are four kinds of Venn diagrams that we have. Let me just move to a white page where I can explain this concept because you all had requested for the basic information related to this topic. Your given informations will mostly be of four categories. The four categories are category of the type all, category of the type none, category of the type some are, and the category some are not. These are the four categories of informations that can be given to you. Something like if I tell you all pens are erasers. All pens are erasers. So it's an all type of information given to you. How do you draw a diagram for this? The diagrams follow the rule of belongingness. Belongingness means an inner circle is completely enclosed by the outer circle. All right. And that's what I want to say here. All pens are belonging to the category of erasers. So this is the circle for erasers and this is the circle for pen. And my question has given me this. I am shading it for some reason because I have to only shade what is given to me. I don't know if there is something here or not. That's a question mark for me. Question has not told me. Is there something belonging to this category? I don't know. The question has only told me that all pens are erasers. So I only know that pens are completely enclosed or belonging to the category of erasers. If there is something here or not, I don't know. Is this clear, everyone? Putting this question mark is extremely important. Otherwise, what normally books do for you is they make different diagrams. I'm giving you a shortcut. The shortcut is you can do with a single diagram. But what needs to be done in this single diagram is shade what is given to you, put a question mark on what is missing in the information. Is this clear, everyone? The first type is clear? Yes or no? Okay, let's move to the second type now, none. So I'm changing the same sentence by none now. The sentence now becomes none of the pens are erasers. None of the pens are erasers means what? Pens are not inside erasers, they are outside. They are disjoint circles, nothing common between them. That's the diagram you make for the second case. Is the second case also clear? Yes, none of the pens are erasers. You just make the two diagrams disjoint. Nothing common, nothing overlapping. Okay, now the third category. Third category is some pens are erasers. What do you mean by some pens are erasers? A lot of people get confused with the fact that because we are using the word some, that means only some of the pens are erasers and there are few which are not erasers. No, it is not that. The information that is being provided to you is you checked some of the pens, they turned out to be erasers. What happens to the other pens? You don't know. You don't know. Okay, so this question mark basically tells you that it is not that only few pens came out to be erasers and rest were not erasers. No, it's only telling you that I did not have much time, so I could check only some of the pens and they were erasers. The rest of the pens were not even checked by me. So I don't know what is the information about them. So I'm putting a question mark here. Is this clear? Because this is the most important one. Everyone clear? So the shaded is what is given to me with confidence. Question mark is what is not given to me. It is ambiguous. Are you all clear with the third diagram? Please give a quick yes or no. Okay. Now the fourth one. Fourth one says that some are not category. Shivansh, which one do you want me to repeat? Some pens are not erasers. Okay, Shivansh, I'll do that. Some pens are not erasers is given to you. Now, What does it mean? You are suppose carrying a lot of pens. Okay, so Shivansh, you will be able to understand it from here also. Listen to this carefully, then you will understand third also very easily. What does it mean? You are checking pens randomly and you picked up some of the pens and they did not turn out to be erasers. So you know that yes, I have some pens which are not erasers. The rest of the pens were not checked by you. So you don't know, are there some pens which are going to be erasers? I don't know. This is a missing information. Okay, so what happens in a some are and some are not situation is, suppose I'm checking in your class that is everyone wearing a red color or not. Okay, so suppose I'm saying that everyone is wearing a red t-shirt. What does that mean? I have checked each and every student and all are wearing red. So all is very simple. You have checked everyone and you found everyone to be wearing a red t-shirt. None is also very simple. You checked each and every student and no one was wearing a red t-shirt. These two basically mean that you did not even check the entire batch. You checked only few students. So suppose I checked only the ones whose name begin with A. Okay. And suppose my knowledge or my survey told me that all those people are wearing red t-shirt. What does that mean? There are few students who are wearing red t-shirt. Rest of the students, I'm not sure about because I have not even checked them. I just checked randomly few students whose names are beginning with A. For them, I found that they were all wearing red. What happens to the rest of the students? I have not even checked them. So obviously, I cannot provide you any information about it. Now, Shivansh, it's clear? Similarly, in the fourth category, what happens? Suppose I picked up some students whose name begin with A. And what my survey told me that none of them were wearing a red t-shirt. But that conclusion is only for few students whose name begin with A. I checked them. They were not wearing a red t-shirt. So I know that, okay, I do have some students who are not wearing a red t-shirt. What happens to the rest? I don't know. Are there some more people who are wearing red t-shirt in the entire world? I don't know. I have not checked them. Okay, now it's clear. So it's very important to do the shading. Otherwise, you will be making 6-7 diagrams in one single question and it will be an unmanageable question. This shortcut which I have explained to you makes you do the question with one single diagram. But what you have to be very careful about is whatever is given to you with confidence is being shaded by you. What is ambiguous information is being put as a question mark by you. Are we clear with the theory so that we can start solving the questions now? Any confusion with the theory part? So I repeat, the diagram for all is something like this. One category completely inside the other. The diagram for none is two disjoint circles. The diagram for some are is this. Don't forget to put a question mark with whatever is missing information. Some are not is this. But I don't know what is here. I don't know what is here. Okay. Let's start with the questions now. So let's go back to that presentation where you have the questions. Please quickly read the information. And you will see what I was explaining to you in the theory is actually written here in short. Please tell me when you are done reading it. Okay, so it says that in each question below are statements followed by conclusions. So that's what I said. Some information given to you, some conclusions to be made out of it. You have to take the given statements as true, even if it seems to be wrong by your common sense. That's what I also said. Okay. Reading all the conclusions and then decide which of the given conclusions logically follows from the given statements, disregarding the commonly known facts. That's what I was also emphasizing on. You don't have to bring in your common sense while making conclusions. This is the question. So these are the given statements. That is what I was saying. The level of difficulty of syllogism is not simple for you. Too many given informations and too many conclusions to check. Okay, but now I am sure with the discussion that we had of the theory, it should not be difficult for you. It's just that there are too many informations. So you will be making multiple circles. Give it a try. Then I will surely help you out because you guys are not comfortable with this topic. So I will surely help you out. but just give it a try once. Okay, Lalit says it's option number A. Only 1 and 2 are true conclusions. All right, Lalit. Chinmay says it's C. Only 2, 3, and 4 are following. Okay. Anyone else has a different answer? You have to basically find out which conclusions are true, which are wrong, and then mark the option accordingly. Okay, Sujal says B. I have all the options now. A has been answered by you guys. B, C has been also answered. Okay. Shall I help you out with the question? Because none of the answers given by you guys is correct. So we have 5 questions of syllogism. Let me help you out with the first one. And then probably you will be more comfortable to handle the second, third, fourth, and fifth. Shall I do that? Yes, very good, Himanshu. That's the correct answer. So Himanshu, can you tell me which conclusions you came up as correct? What all conclusions came out to be correct for you? Third and fourth, okay. Shubham also says third and fourth. Okay, your option is correct, but the answer is not correct. Okay, first of all, there is something which I had kept pending for this question, the word possibility. It's a very important point to notice. Let's go back to the previous page and let me explain this word possibility for you. It's a normal English word. What does it mean? Give me any synonym for the word possible. Something is possible to happen. What does that mean? There are chances of it happening. Yeah, it may be happening. All right. So there are chances of it happening. It may happen, but we are not sure about it. Possible means we are not sure, but yes, it may or may not happen. Is that what you mean by the word possible? So possible says we are not sure about it. It may happen, but we are not sure. Emphasize on these words. Possible means it may happen, but we are not sure. If I say that it is possible to rain today, of course, I don't see rain happening outside. So I will say that it is possible to happen that it might rain, but I'm not sure about it. Now, answer this question very carefully, what I'm asking now. It's already raining outside, and you tell me that it is possible to rain today. Will it be a correct sentence? You are already observing rain outside, and you are giving me an information that it's possible to rain today. Is it a right sentence? Of course not. It's already raining. How can you use the word possible now? Possible is used when you are not sure. Something you are already sure about, using a word possible for it is wrong. Okay? Rule number 1 for possible. If you have something that you're sure about and you are stating that thing with the word possible, it's wrong. Second rule. If you're not sure about something and you're using a word possible with it, then it becomes a true conclusion. Okay? I said a conclusion, if it is doubtful, is rejected. But if it is doubtful and I'm using a word possible with it, then it becomes a true conclusion. These 2 rules are very important with the word possible. Are you clear with the 2 rules? I'll just write them neatly. The first rule says that something that you are already sure about and you are using a word possible for it, then it is a wrong conclusion. It will be considered as a wrong conclusion. You are already sure about it and you are stating it with the word possible, so it will be a rejected conclusion. Second rule, you are not sure about something and you have used the word possible with it in the conclusion, then it becomes a correct conclusion or accepted conclusion. Are you clear with the two rules? Yes or no? Okay, now go back to the question. There is one conclusion that is using the word possible. There is another conclusion also that is using the word possible. Possible is everywhere. So it's very important. That is why I wanted all of you to give it a try once. Now you know the word possible makes a huge difference. If the conclusion is doubtful and you are using the word possible, it will become true. If the conclusion is already true and you are using the word possible, it will become false. And third, another very important rule. Something which is already proved to be wrong and you are using the word possible is also wrong. So that's the third and the final rule. Something that you know is wrong and you are stating that conclusion with the word possible will be a wrong conclusion. Something like you have already flunked the exam. Okay, you have already failed. And you are saying that it is possible for me to pass. It's a wrong conclusion because something like a revaluation, no information is given to me. Please remember, nothing from real life is to be brought in. Okay, I don't know if there is any revaluation kind of a thing that's there in my life. All right, so something which is already wrong, you are putting a word possible with it, doesn't make any sense. It's also a wrong conclusion. All right, now reattempt the question. So let me move to a page where I can make a diagram. So let me help you out for this now. Let's make the diagrams first. The first one says that all Hondas are hero. So all Hondas are hero. We don't know what is Honda, we don't know what is hero. Don't use any of the information from your common life. We just know that all Hondas are inside the circle of hero. Okay, do we have something here? I don't know. Some Suzukis are Hondas. So Suzukis have some intersection with Honda. So if I'm making that diagram, it's like this. Suzuki is having some intersection with Honda. So this intersection I am aware of. What happens in the later part? I don't know. Okay, so some of the Suzukis have intersection with Honda. Now, all Suzukis are Maruti. That means the complete circle of Suzuki is enclosed by Maruti. That's the next information the question has given you. All right. No hero is BMW. So hero and BMW are completely disjoint. So hero is here. If I'm drawing a circle of BMW here, they have nothing in common. The two circles have nothing in common. They are disjoint. Anyone has any problem with the diagram, first of all? So all Hondas are hero. Honda is completely enclosed by hero. Some Suzuki are Honda. So Suzuki, Honda have some common intersection. Suzuki is completely enclosed by Maruti. No hero is BMW. So hero and BMW have nothing in common. Any problem with the diagram, first of all? Okay, now let's read the conclusions. Some Honda, which are both Suzuki and Maruti, are also BMW is a possibility. We'll refer to the word possibility later. First, let's find this. Because we know that possibility has three rules. If it is already wrong, it will remain wrong. If it is already true, you are using the word possible, it will be wrong. But yes, if it is doubtful and you are using the word possible, only then it will become a true conclusion. So possibility makes a conclusion true only under one situation. And what is that situation? This statement, this conclusion is doubtful and you have used a word possible with it. So it becomes true. Let's see. Some Honda, which are both Suzuki and Maruti. So they are talking about this blue shaded region, because this is the one which is Honda also, Suzuki also, and Maruti as well. These are also BMW is a possibility. Can you have this region intersecting with BMW at all? Can you have the intersection of this blue region with BMW? Yes or no? No. So it is already wrong. Something which is already wrong, you are using a word possible with it, will remain wrong. So it's a false conclusion. Okay. First one is a false conclusion. Now let's read the second one. Some Maruti which are not hero. So some Maruti which are not hero means we are talking about something from here. These are those Marutis which are not hero. All right. Are also BMW is a possibility. Can I have this BMW circle drawn here? Yes, of course. This BMW is not supposed to intersect with Hero, but of course it can intersect with Maruti for sure. So I could have drawn this black circle here also to intersect with Maruti. Of course it is possible. So it is a true conclusion. Are you clear with the first and second? So we were doubtful about it. BMW could intersect with Maruti, or maybe it could not intersect with Maruti. Something which is doubtful, you are using a word possible, it becomes a true conclusion. Yes or no? Are the first and two clear? Okay, now let's read the third one. Some Honda, which are not Suzuki. Some Honda are not Suzuki. Let's find this first. Some Hondas are not Suzuki. These are Hondas which are Suzuki. Can I have some Hondas which are not Suzuki? Yes, of course I can have, but I'm doubtful about it. Something that you are doubtful about, you have used a word possible with it, becomes a true conclusion. So the third also becomes true, because the rule is something you are doubtful about, you are using the word possible, only then it is considered as a true conclusion. Rest of the situations, it will remain false. Clear till here? Now the last one. No Honda is BMW is a possibility. No Honda is a BMW is always going to be correct. Can you see that? Because BMW is not supposed to intersect with Hero. So how can it go inside and intersect with Honda? Of course not. So a Honda is surely not a BMW. Something that you are already sure about, you are using a word possible with it, is a false thing to do. Right? So the first conclusion is false, second is true, third is true, fourth is false. Which option to mark? Only second and third conclusions are true. None of the options mention that. So the right answer is option E. That's what I was saying. Some of you were giving the correct option, but your answers were not correct. That which conclusion is true and which conclusion is false. Is it now clear, everyone? See, the point is you guys were not aware of syllogism, even the basic one, right? So we have started with the basic syllogism, but the level of questions is extremely high. So please feel comfortable to ask your doubts if you have. You want me to repeat the first conclusion, Vikas? Is that so? Okay, so I'm repeating the first one. So Vikas, first of all, with possibility, are you clear with the three rules? Doubtful, possible, true conclusion. Something you are sure, you are using the word possible, false conclusion. Something that you are already sure is a wrong thing, you are using word possible, a false conclusion. So these are the three rules with the word possible that needs to be very clear. Okay, I'll repeat the fourth also. First one says, some Honda which are both Suzuki and Maruti. Where do you see Honda, Suzuki, Maruti intersecting? Here in this blue region. They are talking about this region. Okay, what they are saying about this blue region is that this particular shaded region is the one that they are talking about. They are also BMW is a possibility. Can you have this blue region to intersect with BMW? Of course not. BMW is supposed to remain away from this entire circle. How can it come inside and intersect with this part? Right? So this statement is already wrong. If it is already wrong and I am using a word possible with it, it remains a false conclusion. Third rule. Okay, so it's a false conclusion. Okay, now let's come to the fourth one. No Honda is BMW. Hondas can never intersect with BMW. Why? Because if the outer circle is kept away from BMW, how can the inner circle intersect with it? Not possible. Because if they do intersect, it is automatically intersecting with the outer one also, which is not allowed as per the question. So, no Honda is BMW is definitely correct. Something which is definitely correct and you are putting a word possible with it is also false thing to do. As I said, it is already raining outside and you are coming and telling me that it is possible to rain today. I will say it's a wrong statement to make. Are you all clear? Everyone done with this question? So just a quick recap. With the word possible, remember, excuse me, there are 3 rules. If you are doubtful about that statement, you are using the word possible, it becomes a true conclusion. You are sure about it, you are using the word possible, it's a false conclusion. You are already sure about that statement being wrong, you are using the word possible with it, false conclusion. Okay, so if you remember these 3 rules, you will never make a mistake with the word possible. Clear? Shall we move ahead? Okay, let's move to the next question. All trees are branch, that's one diagram. All leaf are stem, that's another diagram. No stem is root, so you have 2 disjoint circles. No tree is leaf, so you again have 2 disjoint circles. A simple diagram. And the conclusions are not even having the word possible. So it's a much simpler. There is nothing to do with possible in the conclusions. So when the word possible is not there in the conclusions, simple logic. If you are sure about the conclusion, it's true. If you are not sure about the conclusion, it's false. And if you know that the conclusion is wrong, even then it is false. So without the word possible, when the word possible is not there, then the rule is, if you are sure about that conclusion, then it is true. If you are doubtful about that conclusion, then it is false. And when you know that it is a wrong conclusion, even then it is false. Is my voice breaking for everyone or is it just for Gaurav? Am I clearly audible to all others? Okay, Gaurav. Right, so what's the answer? Tell me first of all, which conclusion is coming out to be true and which is coming out to be false? Forget about the options right now. Tell me the true, false kind of an answer. Which of these conclusions you think is coming out to be true? Yes, tell me. Okay, so Vikas says, are you saying fourth option or are you saying fourth conclusion is coming out to be true? Either way, it's the right answer. Vikas, very good. So you have done it correct. Let's see, for those who have not been able to solve it. All trees are branch. So the trees are completely inside the belongingness of branch. Okay, so trees are completely inside the belongingness of branch. This is the first statement given to you. All leaf are stem. So the leaf are completely inside the belongingness of stem. Do I know anything about these two circles connecting or not connecting? I don't know. The question has neither told me that keep them disjoint. The question has neither nor even told me that keep them overlapping. Till now, I don't have any information about these circles connecting, overlapping, remaining disjoint. I don't know. It's missing information. No stem is root. Stem is supposed to be disjoint with root. So this circle and the circle of root is supposed to remain disjoint. They can never ever overlap. Okay. Next one, no tree is a leaf. So the circle of tree and the circle of leaf is supposed to be disjoint. So as I was saying that nothing has been mentioned about this question telling me that can they overlap or not. Does this statement make any difference now because of this new information? Trees are completely inside branch. Leaf is completely inside stem. Stem is supposed to remain disjoint with root. Now, no tree is leaf is not a new diagram. Tree is already drawn by you. Leaf is already drawn by you. This is just telling me that tree and leaf will remain disjoint. My question to you is, if these two inner circles are disjoint, does it make necessary that their outer circles will also be disjoint? Yes or no? My question is, the tree and the leaf are given in the question as disjoint. So disjoint, I always mention as putting a cross. Does it force on the fact that their outer circles are also disjoint? Of course not, because I can have them intersecting without intersecting the inner circles. So please remember, it's a question mark for me. They may overlap, the circle of B and the circle of S. They may overlap or they may not overlap. It's missing information in the question. Are you all clear with this fact? So the outer circle of branch and the outer circle of stem, will it overlap or not is a missing information. So I'm doubtful about it. Yes, everyone clear with this? Okay, so let's read the conclusions now. Some stems are not branch. That's what I said. Stems will be branch or not will be branch. I'm doubtful about it. Something that you are doubtful about, and there is no possible word used here, is considered as a false conclusion. Because I said without the word possible, true means it has to be always true. If it is doubtful or if it is wrong, it will be called as a false conclusion. Is the first one clear, everyone? I'm going slow because it's difficult to repeat everything all over again. So tell me where you have a doubt. First one is clear, everyone? Okay, great. Now let's see the second one. No root is tree. They are saying that root and tree cannot intersect. Of course they can intersect. Root is not supposed to intersect with stem, but it can definitely be drawn to intersect with tree. How can I be so sure about it? So something that you are not sure about, you have a doubt about it, will be again called as a false conclusion. Are you clear with the second one as well? Okay, let's go to the third one now. No leaf is a branch. If this outer circle is intersecting with branch, does it make any problem to me? Of course not. The inner circles are not supposed to intersect. Okay. And this conclusion is basically enforcing it on us that no leaf is a branch. So no leaf is a branch is definitely doubtful. It may or may not intersect. Okay. The inner circles are not supposed to intersect, but yes, the inner one with this outer one can definitely intersect also or may not intersect also. So again, something you are doubtful about is considered as a false conclusion. Now, the last one. All stems are not root. Is it compulsory in my question that stems have to be inside root? Of course not. These are inside stem, and stems are already told to me that no stem is a root. So all stems are not root is correct. Yes, I know stems cannot be roots. Stems are kept disjoint from roots. So this is a correct one because I'm sure what they have mentioned is correct. All stems are not root. Yes, they are disjoint. Got it? So how can there be any intersection possible? So the first three are false. The fourth one is true. Only the fourth conclusion follows. Which option mentions that? It is the fourth option. So option number D is the right answer. Is that clear, everyone? So I'm sure now you are in a comfortable situation with syllogisms. Okay, so syllogism needs practice because it was a new topic for you. Definitely it will be needing a lot of practice. Okay, let's move to the next topic now. Next topic is data sufficiency. Read this and then I'll explain data sufficiency. But you guys mentioned that data sufficiency, at least you guys are aware of. So at least you know the base of data sufficiency. So what is the option set telling you? Statement A alone is sufficient to answer the question, but 2 is not sufficient to answer the question. So first of all, what is data sufficiency? Let's have a quick discussion on how do you identify the correct option? What is it that makes you understand that how to identify the correct option? See, there will be some data given to you, just like syllogism. But instead of conclusions, now there will be a question to answer. You have to find the answer to a question. But the rule says that the answer that you are finding to this question has to be a unique answer. You cannot say that if I'm asking you to find the value of x, so you say that, okay, x can be 1, 3, or 5, and I've got the answer. No, it has to be one single answer. The answer has to be unique. That's the only rule which is important for data sufficiency. Now, data sufficiency is made up of two words. Is data sufficient enough to answer the question uniquely or not? So I repeat, what does it say? Is the given data sufficient to find the answer to the given question uniquely? To support that, there will be two informations given to you. As I said, there will be some data given to you. So that information is given as two separate informations. What you do is, first you take the help of the information provided in A and you try to find the answer to the question uniquely. Suppose it helps me in finding the answer. So A has worked for me. All right. And then I leave behind the information in A and I use the information of B alone. And B also helps me to answer the question. Okay. So in that case, which option do you mark? You will say that A alone is also working for me or B alone is also working for me. This is your conclusion. But yes, of course, there are two more situations possible here. It might happen that A is working. Himanshu, you guys said you are already aware of this. Are you not? Okay, you were having a net issue. Okay. What I said, Himanshu, was data sufficiency basically says what? It tells me that there are two set of informations given, A and B. You have to treat them as separate informations, okay, in the beginning. And there is a question to answer. And the answer to that question has to be a unique answer. That is one single answer. That's what I said till now. Now, you are finding whether the information given in A alone is enough to find the answer uniquely or not. All right. So if it is a yes, A alone is giving me a unique answer, you will say A has worked well for me. Then you try the information given in B alone. Suppose that also works for me. So you will say B has worked for me. All right. So A alone worked for you. B alone also worked for you. What is your conclusion? A is also working alone. B is also working alone. And this statement was given in which option? It was given in option number 4. Let me just go back there and tell you that yes, it is exactly what is mentioned in option number 4. See here. Option 4 says each statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. Okay, so if A alone also works, B alone also works, you mark option number D. But of course, the situation may not always be like that. What else can happen? What can happen is A works, but B doesn't work. In that case, can you tell me which option is supposed to be marked? If A works, but B doesn't work, then you mark option number 1. Okay. And if the reverse thing happens, If A doesn't work, but B works to give me the answer uniquely, then which option do you mark? Option number 2. So I'm sure you're clear with option 1, 2, and 4. Okay, I'm talking about these 3 options in one go. Then I will talk about option number 3. Then I will talk about option number 5, because this is what you have to basically understand as a shortcut for data sufficiency. The shortcut is that first you have to always eliminate between option 1, 2, and 4. Then you try option 3. Then you try option 5. Why? Because these 3 options are telling me to use the information of A and B alone at a time. If they both are working alone, you are marking option 4. If only A is working alone and B is not working, you are marking option 1. If B is alone working but A is not working, you are marking option 2. Are you clear with the first set of options? When is 1 marked and when is 2 marked and when is 4 marked? Quickly tell me a yes or no. Yes or no? Now suppose neither 1 nor 2 nor 4 becomes my answer. What do I do then? Alone, nothing is working. Then you combine the 2 informations. You combine the information of A and B together as one single information. And if that gives you the answer, you will be marking option 3. And if that also doesn't mark, that also doesn't get marked, that means that also doesn't work, then you ultimately come to option number 5. So this flow chart is very important. First you try option 1 to 4, then you try option 3, and in the end, if nothing works, then you mark option number 5. While trying these options, you are working with the informations alone at a time, either A alone or B alone. Here, you're combining the 2 informations. Here, nothing has worked, so this comes in the end, if nothing of the above options have been marked. Quickly tell me a yes or a no. Are you clear with this? Then we'll quickly take a question on this. Okay, let's go back to the question then. So this is the set of information, the way you have to mark the options. But yes, of course, as I said, first try A, B, and D. Then in the second step, try C. Then in the third step, try E. Try this. Is ABCD a 4-digit positive number a perfect square? The question is asking. ABCD is a 4-digit positive number. Can you tell me, is it a perfect square or not? Please remember, I said the answer to the question has to be a unique answer. You cannot answer like maybe. You have to answer either a sure yes or a sure no. Okay? So the answer to the question has to be a unique answer. You cannot say sometimes it is yes, sometimes it is no. It has to be either a sure yes or a sure no. To find out the answer, you are given 2 supporting informations. Quickly find the answer, everyone. Okay, so which option to mark? Okay, let's see. Information A tells me that the digit in the tens place is an even number. So I know that this number is an even number. Does it tell me anything about this number being a perfect square or not? If I have an even number here, do I get the surety that it will always be a perfect square? You can think of an example. If you have an even number in this place, are you sure that it will be a perfect square? Just create any example. 1024. Okay, very good. So 1024 is a perfect square of a number. Himanshu, what is that number? It's a square of 32. Yes, correct. Okay, but if I have an even number here, with every possible situation, I will have a perfect square. That's the question. You just gave one example. Let me give you another example wherein I have an even number here. Suppose something like I have 1084. Is it still a perfect square? Himanshu, I'm asking something else. Okay. I'm saying you have created an example where there is an even number here and it turned out to be a perfect square. Now think of a contradictory example. Keep an even number here so that it is not a perfect square. So my question to you is 1084 a perfect square? No, it is not. It is not square of any number. Yes. So we are not sure. Same as what you do in syllogism. We are not sure. When we are not sure, we will say that A is not helping us to answer because we are not getting a sure situation. Keeping an even number here can be a perfect square. Keeping an even number here may not be a perfect square. So when we are not getting a sure answer, we will say that A alone has not helped me. Now let's try B alone. What is B's information? B's information is the units digit is 4. So the B's information is in the unit place, I have 4. Already I have a contradiction. Having 4 at a unit place can give me a perfect square, and having 4 at a unit place may not give me a perfect square. So again, I'm doubtful. It may be a perfect square. It may not be a perfect square. So B alone is also not helping. Are you clear with this? A alone did not work. It did not give me any sure answer. B alone did not work. It did not give me any sure answer. When this happens, then option number 1, option number 2, option number 4, all are gone. Okay, so my first stage is done. I don't have any of these 3 options. 1 is marked when A alone is working, but B is not. 2 is marked when B alone is working, but A is not. 4 is marked when both of them would have worked alone, but nothing like that happened. So now I move to option number 3. Option number 3 tells me that combine the two informations. So if I combine the two informations, I get that there is an even number here and there is a 4 here. But even then, the same example is working. Having 4 here, even number here. Having 4 here, even number here. One situation tells me, yes, it is a perfect square. Other situation tells me, no, it is not a perfect square. So again, third option is not working. I'm still doubtful about it, even after combining the two informations. Now, which option has been left out for you? Fifth option. Data is not sufficient at all, even after combining. So the option to be marked is fifth option. Are you all clear? So fifth option was, of course, E option for you. Are you all clear? So this flowchart in data sufficiency plays a very, very important role. Let's take another example to have more practice. It's quite simple to observe. Please remember, data sufficiency doesn't tell you that find all the answers. You have to just analyze. Will I be able to find an answer or not? Do not ever waste your time in finding the answer. Avoid doing any calculations. You have to just judge, will you get an answer or not? So the question is saying, A is as efficient than B as B is from C. So the efficiency comparison of A and B and C is exactly the same. Okay. Question is asking, B will take how many days to finish the job? Now, information A tells me only thing about their combination. Information B tells me only about their combination. And it is very clear, if I combine the two informations, I will be able to compare them and find everything. So as I said, you have to just judge it. You don't have to start solving it properly. All right. I know that by combining the two informations, I will surely be able to solve the question. So which option will you mark quickly? Third option. So that's the shortcut now. Okay. After having understood the concept, please understand you're not supposed to solve the questions. You're only supposed to judge which all informations do I need to answer the question. So of course, I can judge that first information combines A and B together. Second information combines B and C together. If I use both of them together, of course, I will be able to reach the solution. So the right answer is option number 3. Let's quickly do one more. This is a much simpler one for you to observe. The question is asking for the present age of Harish. Some information is given here. Some information is given here. You have to judge which information is going to help me to find the unique answer. Unique is very important. This I'm sure everyone can find out. Please give it a try. So we have to find the present age of Harish. Whenever you're dealing with questions of ages, please make a note that you always assume the variable matching with the first alphabet of the person's name so that you remember which variable is corresponding to which person, and that is always the current age. Okay? We always follow this rule so that there is no confusion. Very good, Avinash. That's the correct answer. So information A is telling me what? 4 years later, the age of Harish. So 4 years later, age of Harish will be H plus 4 will be equal to the present age of Suresh. So the present age of Suresh is S. While the present age of Suresh is 6 years less than the present age of Mahesh. This is the information given by statement A. Is it clear? So it says H plus 4 is S, and it also tells me that S is M minus 6, where these variables are the current ages of these people. Now, from here, can I find the value of H? Of course not. I don't even know the age of M. I don't even know the age of S. I just know their connections. It doesn't help me to find the value of H. Okay, so A alone is not working. Let's try B. B tells me that the age of Mahesh after 8 years, so M plus 8, will be equal to the sum of the present ages of Harish and Suresh. So this will be equal to H plus S. That's the only information given by statement B. Does it still help me to find the value of H? Of course not. I just can say that yes, H is M plus 8 minus S, but I don't know what is M, I don't know what is S, so I can't solve it. B alone is also not working. Of course, now I can just try to connect them. If I use both the informations together, yes, if I use both the informations together, you all are saying the correct answer, I can definitely solve it. How? You see the connection here. S is M minus 6. Just put this equation here on this side. M plus 8 is equal to H plus S. And I'm putting S as M minus 6. And yes, I quickly get to know the answer. H is 8 plus 6. So Ayush, it's 8 plus 6. Though we were not supposed to find the answer, but I've just shown the calculation to you. I could just observe that, yes, here I have M also, S also. Because S is expressed in terms of M, I could have found the answer. There was no need to show the calculation. As I said, you should save time. Nobody is asking you to find the value of H. It was obvious that, yes, I will be able to find the value of H. That's it. So using both the informations, I got the unique answer for H. The unique answer for H came out to be 14. So which option will you mark? When you use both the informations together and you get a unique answer, which option do you mark? Option number 3. Okay, so C option is the correct answer. Are you clear now? So now you understand why I said in the beginning that quant is quite manageable. It's very simple algebra, simple real life algebra. Then we came down to puzzles. Puzzles were also quite manageable because they had very simple logic of squares and all, right? And moving in a sequence in an ascending order, very much manageable. Then it is syllogism, which is a very, very technical concept, but I think I have been able to help you out with the basic theory, which you guys were not aware of. Data sufficiency is just that you have to follow the flow chart. Then you will never ever make a mistake. So the flow chart, please remember, is try option 1 to 4. If that doesn't work, move to option 3. If that doesn't work, move to option 5. If you follow this rule for data sufficiency, you will never ever make a mistake. And remember, the rule says that the answer that is being asked for the question has to be a unique answer. And by unique, what we mean, if it is a value-based question, it has to be a single value. Like H came out to be 14. It's a single answer. It's not like 14 or 17, two answers are coming up. And if it is a yes no type of a question, it has to be either a sure yes or a sure no. You cannot say that under some situation it will be yes, under some situation it will be no. That's not considered as a unique answer. For syllogism, my tip to you is, please first always notice whether the question is carrying the word possible or not. Combination, wrong conclusion. Wrong possible combination, again a false conclusion. But yes, doubtful with word possible is a true conclusion. And if your question is not carrying the word possible, all you have to say is, if you are doubtful about this conclusion, say it as a wrong or a false conclusion. If you are sure about this conclusion, call it as a true conclusion. And if you are sure about it being wrong, then also it is a false conclusion. All right. So if you follow these rules, I'm sure you will not be making mistake in syllogism and data sufficiency, which is a little tricky in this paper. And that was the only technical concept which you guys were not aware of. Anyone has any doubts? Because I've already exceeded the time. It's almost time for your next session. Anyone has any quick doubts before I end the session? Quickly ask me if you need any tip, any clarification. Okay, then it's almost time for your next session. So I'll just end the session right now and keep a note of the shortcuts that we discussed. Thank you so very much, Sujal. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Himanshu. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.